And we're rolling. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ugo Opara, PA licensed real estate agent and investor with United Real Estate, reporting to you live from the city of Brotherly Love. How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? So, um, this video I'm gonna try and be very short with. I get a lot of complaints. A lot of y'all meet me in person saying y'all like the videos, but they're too long. You haven't gotten you have not been able to go through it. So we're gonna try and tone this down just a little bit. Um, but real quick before I jump into it, a lot of people are hitting me up, and I respect it. I appreciate it. Please continue to hit me up. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions or leverage me as a services. But a lot of you guys don't understand that I'm a licensed real estate agent, and I just wanted to show this off because for my company, United Real Estate, in the Philadelphia office, I'm the number one agent as far as like I'm the top agent for sales, top agents for the number of sales, and the top agent as far as like earnings are concerned. So, um, I'm not saying this to brag, maybe a little bit, but I'm really saying this to say that a lot of you guys are calling me and you guys are not really putting enough respect on my name, and a lot of you guys are approaching me as if I only did sheriff sales, as if I'm only a sheriff sale guy. Um, and what broke the camel's back was one person called me and they were asking me if I could recommend a real estate agent. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? And I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe they're out of state or something like that, or maybe they need to refer me to refer them to an agent in New Jersey or New York or nah, homie is in Philadelphia asking me if I knew of an agent that could help him out, if I could refer him to an agent. I'm like, you must have, I didn't put some respect on the name, please. And I just wanted to make this video, or not even the whole video is not about that. I just wanted to push this little bit of information into the system so we all are on the same page. That's just how I feel about that. So yeah, that's that. And then today's topic, what I really wanted to talk about is kind of how to be an out-of-state investor, how to invest in real estate if you are an out-of-state investor. And yeah, so this is really what the bulk of the talk is going to be about. So and it's really a two-step process. It's two phases that you got to do it. This number one, I call it like mindset, physical set, um, and reality set. If you're first question I would ask yourself going into if you're thinking about being an out-of-state investor is what is wrong with your market? What's going on within your backyard where you feel like you gotta leave to a whole nother state? You know what I mean? Now if you're in New York or if you're in California, I get it. I get it. Y'all some of my most loyal clients. I get it. I welcome y'all down extremely because in New York, you know what I mean? You got a two-bedroom going for freaking $700,000. You know what I mean? You have apartment buildings going for like three, four, five, $6 million. I get it. Wholly different ballpark. And then you come to Philly. Like today I saw a 5 unit apartment building, maybe in like a C minus D plus neighborhood, for like a buck 60, about buck 70. That's amazing. Someone from New York who's looking at that is ridiculous. You could pick up 10 of those for what you pay, well, maybe not 10, but 1.6. You could pick up 10 of those type of properties for what you would pay for like maybe a studio or a one bedroom or something like that in the financial district. Just something crazy, 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 crazy. So I understand why someone from New York would come to Philly. Um, but what's going on in your area, in your market, in your backyard that you got to leave? You know what I mean? And then do you have to be out of state? What if you could drive 30 minutes and do a different market? Maybe you got to try driving out an hour or something like that. Maybe you got to extrapolate what's going on. Maybe look at different areas within your same state versus completely leaving your state and playing that game. Um, so I understand, so just check the reality aspect of it. And then once you realize what's wrong with your market, now it's time to look at these other states and validate what that advantage is. right? So easy example, New Jersey. I get a lot of clients from Jersey, a lot of people that live in Jersey invest heavily in Philadelphia for one effing reason, property taxes. Property taxes in New Jersey are dumb high. And if you're investing for cash flow, it's difficult when five, six, seven, 800, sometimes $1,000 is going just for property taxes that are guaranteed to go up every year. So validate the advantage of out of state, and it should make sense based on what's wrong with your market, right? They should be, this is wrong with my market, and then this market, the reason I'm going out of state is because this market has X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So that's the second step. You validate the advantage. Then the third step is buckle up. And I'm not saying that to scare you, but you want to buckle up and just make sure that when things go wrong, when ish hits the fan, or you have a vacancy, or whatever the case may be, and this is just across the board with real estate investing, you got reserves. You have reserves. You know what I mean? And that's that would be it. So lead with the numbers. You know what I mean? I think, and if you do that, I think everything else will kind of work itself out. So that's pillar one, right? Um, and I want to take a second to point out that um, this was done with the mindset of someone that's doing a buy and hold. You know what I mean? Someone that's doing a buy and hold. So and then we'll talk about what it would look like if you were doing just a flip. Then number two, team structure, right? Because you're not going to physically be there, right? Or to manage the day-to-days of owning a property out of state, you got to assemble the Justice League to help you take care of what you cannot take care of because you're not out there. So number one would be a feeder of property. Feeder of property is anyone that's going to send property your way. So for example, you got a real estate agent, you got a wholesaler, maybe you have someone that's bird dogging, yeah, I don't know, whatever, Trend MLM, whatever it is, you just gotta have someone where you're constantly getting like constantly getting properties that you have the ability to purchase and pick up, whatever the case may be. That's number one. Number two is you gotta have someone that's gonna dish out legal advice. Right, so mostly I always highly recommend you have some type of real estate attorney. That's what that RE is standing for, lowercase e. A real estate attorney is going to be on you, definitely someone you want on your team, especially that's familiar in that out of state thing, right? So let's say you're in New Jersey and you're coming to PA, you want to make sure you have a PA licensed real estate agent. Real estate attorney to help you with everything. Property manager, right? Everyone's going to know this is going to be key. If you're not there to manage the day to day, you need someone or a company that's going to be able to. So you want to have a property manager. And in regards with a property manager, you want to make sure that they are all inclusive. All inclusive means that they don't just collect your rent. Put a tenant in and then collect your rent. What they do is they put the tenant in, they collect the rent. Um, they do evictions. They have a team of mechanics that come just to service that property. It was really beautiful. Um, so that's what you want. Make sure they got good systems in place. And systems in place would be something like a property management software that's running the system. Ask them, well, how does it happen from client looks at the property, what's their process for screening a property, what's their process for for inspecting a property. Yeah, just all that stuff. You want to really get your hands in it and really figure out how is this property management operating. Are they someone that I can stick around with, feel comfortable with? And that's that. And then also make sure they have some type of owner's portal. Owner's portals are dope because you get to sign in and you really can see like a profit and loss statement of any type of rental property that you have that the property manager is managing. You can also see when a check was made out, who was made out to, what time. Um, all these things are cool. So you just want to try and make sure your property manager has that. Next one, a contractor. Self-explanatory, right? Everyone's going to need some type of contractor. You're always going to make the most money when you buy something that's ugly and then you make it beautiful. You know what I mean? I think you're always going to make the money with that. So I'm very excited for that. But with this, and they're going to be your eyes on the ground. Maybe something pops up, but you're not in the state to go look at it. You tell your contractor to go take a look at it. Contractor comes back out and says, "Yeah, we'll cause a blank to do what you're thinking about doing," and that's worth it. So next is a handyman. Now, a lot of people are going to chew this video up and say, what's the difference between a contractor and a handyman? And my biggest thing is that the handyman is going to take all the house calls and then the day-to-day rehabs associated with the librarian. And they handle all the house calls. Contractors would be more when you're doing like renovations. Like you guys know I'm doing something with my basement. Last video I showed you guys the renderings. Like that's a contractor. That's not just a handyman. That's a contractor that gets sent out there. And a lot of times maybe there's something different that you guys have figured out. I'm not saying that I'm 100% perfect, but for a lot of the things that get house called, the handyman is able to fix it and at a better rate than the contractor because the contractor tends to be a lot more expensive. So that's why I put the handyman here, but you're more than welcome to have a contractor that also takes house calls and does your flips and renovations. That's perfect. I mean, renovations and flip. The next thing I wanted to talk about, which is also crucial, is a RECPA, a Real Estate Certified Public Accountant. This is accountant that's familiar with real estate, owns real estate, just whatever, man. You want to make sure you have someone like that on your side that's helping you plan and prep and think about things that you never even thought you would think about. That's why you want to have an RECPA. And for this one, despite the general, for this one, you want to make sure that they're comfortable in the both states that you're working with. If you're not, then it kind of changes everything. Um. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like this is pretty much the frames, the structure of someone that's able to work in one state, invest in another state, and still have their eyes on the prize of everything going on here. Now if we were to do a flip on it, then that would, let's say we were doing something that you're buying. That's another video. I gotta do another video for that. But anyways, thanks for watching this one. Appreciate you, and I'll be back next time. All right, peace. Real quick before I leave, I wanted to give a big shout out to Tiffany D right here. And I wanted to give a big shout out also to Nisa Widget. I got to meet these two ladies. Tiffany, big shout out to you. She was there. She had her laptop. She had her Excel or Google Sheets up, and she had all her properties categorized, book and writ, like everything. And it was just such a dope feeling to know that someone watched the video, took value, and didn't just sit at home on a laptop in front of their computer, but actually took action and went out to the sheriff's cell and drove by properties and took notes and did everything like that. So that is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so proud. Even if you didn't pick up a property or whatever the case may be, I think that's phenomenal. And I wish you guys nothing but success. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate the support. I'll see you next month, right? I'll see you guys next month. I'll be at the March one. I'll be at the March one. So now I'm officially done. Now I'm done for real, for real.